When you find a real estate platform that aligns everyone in the entire company financially by making us real estate agents owners, so when the average agent wins, everyone wins, that's the secret to success. And when you surround yourself with like-minded entrepreneurial people who absolutely love what they do, they love serving people, they love God and life, and you put yourself in an environment of high energy, high producing, positive people every day, you can't help but succeed in business and life. We are changing the real estate industry and changing real estate agents' lives. Welcome to the Financial Freedom Forever podcast.
Hey, I'm super excited today, Pierre. We got Pierre Nadeau in the house. How you doing, Pierre?
I'm doing amazing now that I just saw that little intro you just did. That's so cool. That's great. I even saw my picture in there a couple times.
Yeah, that was I think when we were in Florida for the first time we got together at a live event.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that was awesome.
My virtual assistant Rod has been doing a great job helping me get used to these podcasts and this technical stuff I'm not really normally very good at. But anyway, I'm super excited to have you in the house today, Pierre. You were the very first Canadian business partner that I called that really looked at this model, and man, that was about a year and a half ago, and excited to have you on our Financial Freedom Forever podcast. But let's just jump right in. Tell me your real estate journey, a little bit about your real estate background, and what's your story, Pierre?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for having me on, Andre. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you and we're actually, it's been 2 years now. So since we made the move over. Yeah.
That's right.
I know. So it's been pretty exciting. It's been a great journey and it's been a lot of fun, but going back, so I've been in the business almost 20 years. Started off with a company called Sutton Group. And then after a year, the reason I went there is because they were cheap and I knew one guy there. So I thought, all right, this guy's going to help me, and away we go. That didn't work out. So I thought I had to go to the big name brand and went to a company called Royal LePage here in Canada, which is a pretty big company, and did that for about 8.5 years, and then got tired of paying them, almost $100,000 a year in fees. So I decided to look into. We actually, how it started is we were looking at opening up a Keller Williams, and we spent about 10, 11 months just kind of, around their model, studying it, learning it, going to their functions. And I loved it. I thought it was amazing. And, but then about the 11th month, we started going through numbers. Corporate sat down, we started going through numbers and figuring out what it was going to cost. And you know what? They didn't make sense. They had me hook, line, and sinker with the training and the culture and everything else that they had. But when it came down to the numbers, it just didn't make sense. I needed about 75 agents at the time to be profitable. And, at that time I had 6 agents on a team, and I was making more money doing that than I would doing, so I didn't really need to own something for the sake of owning it. For me, it's about what's left at the end of the day. So we decided to go independent. And then, so we go independent, and we did that for almost 10 years. And then Andre LaFontaine comes in and throws a wrench into the whole thing. And when I say that, it was a good wrench. But Andre reaches out to me and says, "Hey, have you heard of EXP?" And as an owner, I'd heard of it, but I didn't know what it was, right? So I'm like, yeah, I probably should look into this. And you said, you know what, poke some holes, check out this video, and tell me what you think. So I looked at it, and you know what? It just made a lot of sense to me. And we were talking a little bit earlier about this, but I didn't think I had any issues. I didn't think I had any pain points. I really didn't. Right? Things were good. Things were great when we had our own brokerage. I mean, we didn't have to pay anybody else. We were in control. You had some drama to deal with and things like that, but it was kind of replacing staff and agents. But then when I started talking to guys like you and Jay Kinder and Al Stasek and learning about what they were doing compared to what I was doing, it just made sense, right? So then we make the move, right? We studied the model for, we had a lot of logistics to figure out on how it was going to come together, right? Closing a brokerage isn't, you have to figure out how the numbers are going to work for your agents and the splits and everything else. And I guess my biggest concern was, what's this going to be like for my agents? right? I mean, I knew it was good for me, but I also looked at it and said, this is way better for the agents. Like, and if I don't do this, they're probably going to leave eventually to go to this model with someone else, right? Just because as an independent, I could not compete with it. I just couldn't, right? So 2 years later, I mean, now we're living the dream. It's been amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So tell me, what were the top one or two things that really excited you that you would consider, leaving your own independent brokerage that, you had for 10 years that you blood, sweat, and tears, right? It's your baby. What were the top one or two things that really got you excited that you consider making the move for you and for your agents?
Yeah. I think for me in the beginning, I'm huge on coaching and training. I believe that everybody needs it. They need to have some accountability. They need to have, you always got to be learning, because if you're not learning, you're going backwards. Right. And I mean, things are evolving and changing so quickly in this industry that I think we have to be on top of it all the time. And I knew that, the guys in the US were always, 3 to 4 years ahead of us. So when I saw the model, I thought, you know what, this is eventually going to get to Canada, so we might as well jump on board now and enjoy it. But when I first looked at it and I saw the training, I really liked the training part of it, because, we had agents at the time. We had about 15 agents, right? And the training like that you're doing and you're having to organize every week. Well, you got a guy in the room that's been in the business 20 years, and then you got a brand new agent. They're not looking for the same training. So now you got one person that's just bored out of their mind, because it's not relevant to them. So when I saw the 40 to 60 hours a week of training that EXP was doing, I thought this is perfect, right? So that was kind of one of the main things. Now the second thing was eliminating all the headaches of handling the money, the liability, doing all the accounting side of things and all that. To unload that, at the time, I thought that would be nice, because then we could focus on other money-making activities, which is exactly what we did, 2 years later.
Right.
We can talk about that in a second, where that's gone, but it's been unbelievable. So, we did it on a gut feeling. I know my wife said, hey, you know what, why would we do this? Why would we change it? You already got a good thing going. Why mess it up?
It was your best year ever, right? Wasn't it? You just came off the best year ever, selling what, 350 or 325 or something?
And we were doing 300 plus deals a year every year, and it was good. Like, again, it was good. Things were good, right? We had some great people, some great agents, but I don't know if it's my competitive side, but I'm always looking to how do we improve? How do we help the agents? How do we do more for them? How can we give them more value? And this just brought a ton of value to what we were offering, right? So we don't see the agents leaving like they were before, right? Because before, I think they were using us as a stepping stone, because we ran our brokerage like a team model.
Okay.
You'd help somebody make 100, 150 grand a year, then they go somewhere else and do it somewhere cheaper, or at least they thought they could do it somewhere cheaper. So that was an issue, right? You were constantly replacing. Now, instead of constantly replacing, it's just constantly growing and growing and growing. And it's not just me growing it, right? There's other people within the organization that are helping the growth. And, as of this morning, we had 235 agents on our EXP team. And our own team went from, so when we left, we lost a couple of agents, right? Okay. Which was fine, but within 30 days, we replaced them with some top producing agents. So that was great. And since then, so we went from 13 agents to, I think this week we're at like 26 or 27 agents on our team. So
you've doubled your agent count within your own office, and
yeah, and then added another 200
people
220 people to that on top of that, which are now go right across Canada into the US, India, and Mexico. So
it's not just about Kingston, Ontario anymore.
And I think if anything, this company's made me think bigger. Like, before it was all local. Now it's like, how far can we go with this, right? So it's been pretty exciting as far as that goes. Yep.
Let me ask you, how long was your due diligence period? If there's any other broker owner independents out there, watching this right now, Walk us through that. How long did that take, and kind of walk us through that process?
Yeah. I think we were like probably a couple of months, right? It was more figuring out the logistics, right? Like once I got a call, you got me on a call with Jay Kinder and Al, I was in, right? I thought, okay, this is good. And then, then it was just kind of figuring out how do we piece this together? How do I change my splits for the agents so that they don't leave? How do I, make, now we got to change the marketing and the signs and everything else. And it wasn't that, it wasn't bad. I probably got a little overwhelmed for no reason at all, because the support that the company gave us was unbelievable, right? Like, to help with the transition, they had a full team of people coming in and going, okay, this is what you're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. And we even had somebody from Ottawa come down from corporate, and they sat in our office the day that we moved over. I was in, where were we? We were in Florida on the golf course, and corporate was in my office with my team, my staff, and they were getting everything set up while I was at one of the conferences with you guys, and I was out on the golf course. So that was a pretty cool day. Like that was just a sign of things to come, right? So the transition wasn't that bad. Like, I think it was probably 2 months in total. Yeah. And it was more about having to sit down with each individual agent and talking to them and going through it and explaining and all that. But I think it was fairly quick, right? Compared to
for a big broker, for having a broker, your own broker owner, being your own broker owner. That was pretty quick. I remember, the first week or two, the first time or two that I talked to you, I remember, you love the model. You got the model right away. I remember you telling you lost a little bit of sleep because you were watching a lot of videos and stuff. But a lot of the things that you were mentioning to me were things, why you didn't want to make the move, because you just put a new $10,000 sign out on your building, right? And certain things that in the beginning we're thinking you want to look at it so you can, all right, I'm going to look at it and then I can say no, so I know it's not for me. But then when you really start doing your due diligence, you found out, wow.
We were literally, this is how our mind works sometimes, right? We were looking for reasons to not do it.
Right.
Seriously. Like when I was online, I was looking for negative reviews. I was looking for videos of people, complaining about EXP. I was looking for anything that I could find that was negative. First call that I made when I got off the phone with you was to our real estate counsel to see if this thing was legal. And then, the lady at the other end laughed. She goes, yeah, we're getting a lot of calls. So it was, I think once we figured out, we even did the pros and cons list, right? I sat down with my son and I showed it to him, and he's like, Dad, whether you like this or not, man, this thing's happening. This is the way things are going. And, he's 25. And, we did the pros and cons list. The pros list was a page long. The cons was about 3 or 4 items.
Right.
And those 3 or 4 items were kind of like, and I'll tell people, it's basically, it was going to be a short-term loss for me, right? I was going to have to invest, because I do all the signs for our agents and we do everything for them. I was going to have to invest a bit of money to change over things, right? I was going to have to invest some time away from my business to make the changeover. And I actually gave my agents a bit of a break on their split. So, to make up for the cap. So that was a short-term loss, right? Now, if you take that 2 years later, you go, man, I'm glad I made that investment, right? So that's changed dramatically now.
Absolutely.
Yep.
As a broker owner, what was, prior to EXP, what was your biggest struggle in the past? What were you mentioned the training, anything else that when you made the move over to EXP, what did this model change, or the problems that it fixed for you since you came over?
I think I'm going to say 2 things. One, I have way more time right now. So it eliminated all the time that we were using to do things that were not productive, right? You hear people say, hey, I'm really busy all the time, but okay, you're busy, but how productive are you, right? What are you creating? And so we were not being productive. And because we were doing non-money making activities like the accounting, the managing of the business, things like that. So now, 2 years later, we've freed up a lot of that time because we're not having to do that. And our model is changing. So, I'm not selling as many homes as I used to. I'm focusing more on bringing on agents to the team, helping them grow their businesses and supplying leads for them and giving them value. What's the next thing that we can do to give them value, right? So I think that's the one thing, I guess. So the time was one. The other thing was agent retention, right? You you would build and build and build, and then all of a sudden, 3 or 4 of them would leave, and they'd leave together, right?
Oh yeah.
And then you'd start all over again, right? Or your admin staff would leave, and then you're like, what do we do now? Okay, so at that time, my admin staff had me handcuffed, really, like they really did, because if they left, I was out of luck. I had to start all over, and that did happen. Right, we did have that happen. At one point, we had 4 or 5 agents leave with my admin staff, and decided to start their own brokerage, and thought they could do it better themselves. Right, they lasted about 7 months, so that didn't work out so well. But now it was a blessing in disguise for us because our business grew and we found better people, and we incentivized them a little bit differently so that they were motivated as well. And now we're in a good spot. Right. And I know if somebody leaves me tomorrow, then, we still have the admin part looked after by EXP, and, we're good, but we have a great team right now.
And it sounds like you get to do a lot more of what you really enjoy doing. I know you enjoyed being out there in the field and listing, and you're still doing, some of that, but you're building your real estate business. Tell me, how many homes did you sell, personally the year before joining EXP? And then how many this year, the first year and the second year? And because I know that's gone down, and some people may say, well, that's a negative, but share with us what you're doing differently and what you're putting more time and effort into that you're really enjoying, and share, if you have any percentages or whatever of how the net profit has changed.
Yeah. So I'm just going to give you some rough numbers because I'm not a number. Right. Like I'm not big on units and all that, but I can say that, my best year ever, I did, I think 112 deals myself. Last year, I toned that down a bit because we were doing more things with EXP. So that went down to like 70 to 75. And then, this year, Pat, my son, said to me, he goes, oh, I just did, whatever, my so-and-so deal. And I'm like, I don't even know where I'm at. So I should probably add that up. Well, I'm at 12 this year. Right. And we've had our best year profit-wise ever, right? Like our profit has quadrupled in 2 years. So that is a combination of, okay, and I'm not even including stocks in there, what we've gotten in stocks, but I'm not even including rev share in there either. Okay.
What's your real estate business itself?
So I'm just talking about the real estate business. Then we have stocks, and then we have the rev share on top of that. Right. So yeah, and you know what? I don't lie to anybody about this. Golf, I love golfing. I golf 3 times a week, and at least 3 times a week, and that's kind of my goal is to be able to do that. I go boating a couple times a week. I spend time with my family. I'm not stressed. It's so funny. I had a guy we just brought on, Dave from Peterborough, a couple of weeks ago, and he said to me off air, he said. He goes, have you done something different since 2 years ago? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? He goes, I hate to say it, but he goes, I watched some videos of you from 2 years ago. And he goes, you look way healthier right now. And I said, yeah, man. I said, I'm not stressed like I used to be. Finances are good. I have some great people. We've surrounded ourselves with some amazing partners, and we're having fun. Like, it's almost like we're semi-retired because the stuff that we're doing is the fun stuff now, right? And we're traveling. So Mary and I just booked, some trips. We're going to Dallas there in August, and St. Thomas in September. We're going to Arizona and then Vegas in October, and then we're going to take 2 months this year, and we're going to go down and work from Arizona, from our house there. So I was never able to do that before, right? But now because of the technology and the things that we have with our company, I'm able to work from anywhere in the world, right?
That's right. And all those houses that you were doing personally, I think you shared with me. Now you're able to give a lot of those that you would have to run around at 6 o'clock at night and skip dinner, and you're able to give a lot of those to your team members,
Yep.
and they're benefiting from that too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm handing off everything, and any of the leads now that come in, they all go to the agents. They don't go to me, and they don't go to my son either. So we make him do it the hard way. So
yeah,
he's got to learn, right? He's got to learn. So
yeah, I love his story. Tell us real quick his story. How long he's been in business, and because I love that story, what he did his first year in EXP.
Yeah, so he's been in 5 years now, and 2 years ago, just before you and I met and started talking, he almost quit. He almost quit.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah, he came to me a couple of times and he said, "Dad, I don't know if I can handle this. 1 month you're busy as all hell, and the next month you got nothing, right?" And that was stressing him out, just the ups and downs, and he was struggling. So then Andre comes along, and we start talking EXP, and then we go to a function. We go to I think that one was Florida, right? We go to Florida, and then his mindset just changed completely, right? From the training to the motivational stuff to meeting guys like John Kitchens and having conversations with him over a beer, right? And just kind of like, this is where I'm at. What should I do? And it's amazing how sometimes people can say things that can change people's lives, right? So he comes back from there. He's all fired up, and his goal was to just do better, have a better business, right? So he went from doing 20 deals to 65 deals that year.
Wow.
Made a small fortune at 25 years old, really, and accumulated, I think he said, over 100,000 in stock. Okay. From the company. And in the meantime, he sponsored 5 people, and it was indirectly because they approached him about it and conversations and stuff like that. So he brought on 5 people, but that's turned into, I think he's at about 25 people in his group now. And one of those guys in his group is working on a brokerage right now, coming over with 300 agents.
Wow, so that's amazing. So at 25 years old, he tripled his business his first year in EXP and got 100,000 plus in stocks. Yeah. And by sharing this with a few friends, that's really starting to make some passive revenue share for future. That's fantastic.
And I'm sure a lot of people think, oh yeah, your dad's in the business, but well, you can ask him. I don't give him nothing. He doesn't get any deals from me, right? From the very beginning, he's made it very clear that he wants to do it on his own, right? So, and that's good. He needs to learn how to do it on his own, and he's done well. So, and that's just my son. But then there's other people in the business as well that, we brought on that have changed, dramatically how well they've done, right? And we get phone calls all the time about people, how excited they are about, where they're at in life right now because of this company. So I never had that before with my company. Yeah. I just didn't, right? There wasn't that excitement level and that culture. Now it's just, it's been a game changer.
That's awesome. I want to give a shout out to Chantel and Chinky and Kathy and everyone that's watching today. Thanks again for jumping on here with us. There's a few more questions here. Pierre, what surprised you the most about EXP? What were you not expecting that was even better than you thought it would be when you got here?
I'm going to say the way the company looks after us. Okay. I can't get over how well they look after us, right? They really know how to treat their agents. When I went to our first function in Florida, that was amazing. But then when we went to our second one in Vegas, and I saw the event that they put on, and I saw that the speakers that they brought in and the stuff that they did for us after the events, and it was first class. It was really, really amazing. And now I can see why people are, constantly promoting these events and getting their agents to these events, because they're life-changing for some people, right? Look what happened to my son, changes business completely. And it's done it for all kinds of other people as well. And so that's probably my biggest surprise, I think, was how the company has treated us.
All right, fantastic.
Yeah.
I know a big question that a lot of agents have is, hey, what kind of support I'm going to have, from the local, state broker or province, right? Because we're being a cloud-based company. They're thinking, okay, how am I going to reach my broker when I have an issue or a challenge? What's your how's your experience been with that?
It's been amazing, really. We're very fortunate. Our broker of record here is Michelle Scott, and she happens to be local. And she's just like a trooper. She's such a warrior, and she works so hard, and she's always there for us, and she's been very helpful. We have a lot of people at corporate that have been very supportive. We've got people that are helping us all over the place. And you know what the other neat thing is? I've had agents come to me and say, you know what, 10 o'clock at night, I'm writing an offer, and I just needed some help. Right. But I didn't want to call somebody. So what do? They go in the workplace chat, they type in a question, and now all of a sudden, they got 10 people answering them within 10, 15 minutes at 10 o'clock at night. So it's not only that the company supports you, but because we're all, the company's agent owned, right? So everybody wants to see the company grow, and everybody wants to help each other. Right. And that is a weird culture compared to what I was used to. It is just, it's all about everyone helping each other. And there's a ton of support. There's way more support in this than I've ever had at any other company or at anything that I could have ever done. Right. So if somebody's using that as an excuse, they're just looking for an excuse. Right. Because if they talk to anybody within the company, they'll see themselves. And this is the thing, right? There's all kinds of resources for people, but you can give all the tools in the world to somebody.
Right.
If they don't hustle and they don't do the work and they don't pick up the phone, it doesn't matter what company you're with.
Exactly.
You're not going to succeed either way. So if you think it's, you can make a move to EXP and your world's going to change, it will change if you want it to change, but it won't change if you don't do the work. Right.
Yeah. We're still agents, man. We still got to get out there and sell and coach and
absolutely
and do our job. Right.
Yep.
But yeah, the support has been amazing. And a lot of people, I've heard that over and over again, but it's hard to understand it until you experience it. Yep. It's hard to believe that, really you're the guy in your office or the guy across town or someone that's not even in your market, or it is somewhat a competitor in your market, because you may be in the same office, but you have your own independent business that they're going to really help you. And that was one of the biggest surprises for me as well.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So what do you think about getting access to the National Association of Expert Advisors coaching and training from Jay Kinder, Michael Reese, and Al Stasic that they provide to our group at no cost? And have you been on any of the Tuesday through Friday trainings on our private Facebook page? And how has that helped your business?
Well, again, I'm huge on coaching. So I don't listen to a lot of music in the car. If I'm in the car by myself, I'm playing something that Al or Jay or Mike is coaching on, right? I mean, the fact that they're on there, 3 times a week is amazing. And everything that they put on there, I listen to. And so that's good. The coaching, I think, is kind of like the added value that they bring to the table. And, it's amazing. And yeah, we've been involved in it for the last 2 years. We've been doing stuff with it. Right. And I just had an interview with John the other day, and, I can't thank him enough for all the stuff that they've done. Like and I don't know if he realizes it, but it affects people. The stuff that they say and the stuff that they do affects people's lives, and it benefits them. Right.
This is over and above the regular EXP 40 to 60 hours of coaching and training. This is because of our personal group, but I'm on a coaching call today with John at 2:00, and he's actually going to be coaching myself and our team, like our internal team here, to help us, shift, because we're kind of in a shifting mode right now, right? Our EXP group is growing, and it's growing at a fast rate. Like, I think we've added 32 people in the last 30 days, right? So at that rate, we'll be well over 400 people by the end of the year in that group. So now that involves some attention because
That's very rewarding, right? So my shift now, what's happening is we're gonna have to hire some more people, and because my goal is to make sure that the agents are happy, and I want to hire people before we need them instead of after. And John has met with so many top agents around the world, and now guess what? He's going to share that knowledge with us,
right?
And what's that worth? Right? Like, what is that? Like that knowledge that he has dealing with guys like Jay Kinder, and I mean, you think about all the people that he's coached and that he's been involved with, right? The knowledge that guy has is worth millions, and he's going to share that with us. And so, yeah, I think that's a huge part. And you know what, Andre, this is the thing. I'm going to say the reason why we have quadrupled in 2 years is because I think our agents are better. They're doing more deals, right? Like, they're doing way more deals. Like last month, I think we closed on 70 deals. I was involved in 2 of them. Okay. So why are they closing more deals? Well, because they have better systems, they have better coaching, right? And they're learning and they're becoming better agents. And that's what we're doing here. It's all about becoming better, right?
Erin posted, can't wait to get to an event. I'll see how it compares to a couple other real estate companies that she's been with before. I think she's going to be pretty surprised and pretty excited. And shout out to Heidi Hiller that's joining as well. Just 2 more quick questions, Pierre. Have you taken advantage of having access to your senior business partners' calendars, and what does that has entailed? I mean, we get access to Jay and Al, Michael, and everybody in our network and their actual calendars, right? Have you taken advantage of that much?
Yeah, probably too much, but I mean, I still do it, right? I still do it. And it's funny, tonight I get to return the favor because Al's got me on a call with a brokerage, to help him out as well. So it goes both ways, right? And I'm so glad to be able to return any kind of favors I can with these guys. But you know what? It's really cool when I'm sitting down with an agent and I can go into their calendars or your calendar and just take a look at, okay, what do you have available? And then we can book a meeting and we can put them in front of, especially like if I'm meeting with a bigger agent or a brokerage or something like that, they want to see what the big money is, right? So what's the potential of what we can do? So, okay, well, let's get Al and Jay. And that's what you did. You did the same thing, and that system works, right? But it's also good to meet all your partners and who you're going to be in business with. And I think that's what you did with me. And then I think to finalize it all, we went to Florida and we met them in person, and that kind of sealed the deal, right? Once we saw that was it. We were done.
If there was just one takeaway, Pierre, that you want to make sure that, whoever's listening today, if you have any close friends or someone that you really care about, what would you want to make sure that they understood and they took away from this interview?
You know what? I think everybody needs to just do their research. Okay. I'm not saying that this company's for everybody. It probably, it's not. I think it worked for what we wanted. It would work for us. I've met some amazing people. I think a lot of people, there's a lot of brokerages out there that are starting to they're getting nervous. They've got to be getting nervous because they see the growth, the fastest growing real estate company in history, 55,000 agents now. I mean, the thing's growing like wildfire, right? So you hear some of these things out there. Oh, it's a recruiting company. Okay, well, you tell me one real estate company that's not a recruiting company, okay? And the other thing I'm going to tell you is if you're not getting a call from somebody, you're not doing enough. You need to go do more, because if you're not doing anything, nobody knows you're out there. If you're getting a call, it's because people respect you and they know that you do good business and they want to be in business with you. Okay. And they want to share, what we have. I mean, you used the analogy a long time ago with me, and I've never forgotten it. If you had the cure for cancer, would you tell, people about it? And you're like, yeah, you tell everybody. He goes, well, you know what? We have the cure for real estate cancer. So it's our job to tell people, because I know that now, I mean, from 2 years ago to now, when I share this, the belief is a lot higher because I see what it's done for us. I see what it's done for our agent. I see the excitement level in people. And I mean, I've had people in tears talking to me on the phone saying, thank you, for what you've done and all that. Right. So it's such a different feeling when you help somebody grow their business and they're excited. Right. So my advice is to get information, learn about the model, If it's for you, great. If not, then that's great too. Doesn't change anything. We keep doing deals. We keep doing business together. We keep we keep golfing together. We keep, it doesn't mean we're not friends anymore, but I just think people need to really, really, look into it, because it does solve a lot of problems.
I mean, it's a big compliment, right? I mean, if you get a phone call or 2 or 3 from people, it's a big compliment that they're reaching out to you because they like you. If they didn't, they wouldn't be reaching out to you. My last question is, if you could join EXP all over again, would you do anything differently? If you don't mind sharing, so you can save, any of your friends, if you made any mistakes, what would they be? Or maybe you didn't, but what would you say? Anyone that's considering looking at EXP, was there anything that you learned and would have done anything different?
I think, I think we started off pretty good. There was that transition period for me, closing the brokerage and then getting involved. Like, we really only started paying attention to this about maybe 14, 15 months ago. We were slowly, bringing on some people, and we were just trying to make sure that everybody was happy and we weren't going to lose any agents and all that. But I don't know. I mean, some people they hesitate, right? They hesitate and they take too long. You know what? If you know it, like, this is the thing, we knew it. As soon as we saw it, we knew it was right. Now it was just about, how do we make it work for us, right? How do we transition it? So if you get that gut feeling that this is good, it is good, right? So don't fight it. Like, I think I fought it probably a little too long. I've heard people fight. Hey, like Rick fought it for a year, right? I mean, it took him a year to come over, right? Look how well he's doing, and look how much money he would have lost over the year. But again, the timing wasn't right.
Right.
Okay. Erin, that was just on the call there, that was making that comment. I mean, I talked to her 2 years ago. Timing wasn't right. Right. But I think over time, she saw more and more people come over, and some of her friends were coming over and things like that. So I think then the timing became right. So it's all about timing.
Awesome. Hey, real quick before we sign off, what is your best movie? What's the best movie or book that you've ever read?
Everybody knows I love Grant Cardone. So when Grant Cardone came over, it was like, I was pretty pumped about that. You either love him or you hate him. I love him because he just, calls it the way it is, and where you go. And that's my personality. So I like that. I think 10X is probably, probably my number one top book that I've ever read. Actually, and I won't say that I read it. I listened to it. So that's what I listen to in the car. And it's so funny. Everybody knows I love that book. So one year at a Christmas party, our staff and our agents bought me some gifts. And one of the gifts was a buzzer with 10X on it. And every time you hit it, you get a Grant Cardone difference.
Oh, that's funny. And
we leave it at the front door at our office so that we bang on that. It's right below the bell that everybody rings every time they do a deal. So 10X for sure.
All right. That's great. Yeah. I met Cardone in Mexico for the first time.
I know.
So now he's partnered with EXP. His wife's part of EXP, and now he's doing a bunch of the training, free training through our workplace. So that's pretty cool. All right, awesome. Hey, thanks for your time, Pierre. I mean, I love being in business with you. Say hi to Marion and Pat and the team. And I really appreciate you jumping on here today. And we'll see everyone next Wednesday at our Financial Freedom Forever podcast. So.
Andre, I want to thank you before you sign off. I want to thank you for introducing me to the company. And if Andre's ever calling you guys and following up, you need to thank him, because if it wasn't for his relentless follow up with me, our life wouldn't have changed. So I want to thank you for everything you've done. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, buddy. And if anyone needs to reach out to you, they have any questions, what's the best way for them to reach out to you, Pierre?
You know what? The best way is to text me. Send me a text, and I'll be more than happy to respond and help anybody that needs any help.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you. We'll see you either at the next event or on the golf course, whichever comes first.
Absolutely. Thanks, Andre. Have a great day.
All right, bye.